Alrighty, I'm back with a rare live poker stream, no delay. We're gonna do some training. I don't know if it'll be a long stream. I might only stream for like an hour or so because I'm kind of tired. But I want to do something, and streaming it will probably make me focus on it a little bit more. And maybe I can get some of the chess people, you know, interested in poker, and maybe some of the poker peeps will show up. So anyway, that's the plan for today. Gonna do some training in GTO Wizard, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. First off, let's see if the stream is set up correctly on both YouTube and Twitch. Okay, Twitch looks good. Let's see YouTube. Gonna do some training in GTO Wizard. Yeah, YouTube looks good too. But I don't know if for live streaming, like I'm probably in chess category, or is there even a category? Let's see. Switch account. Edit video. Yeah, I don't know how live streaming on YouTube works really. Playlist. Customization. Analytics. Details. No, it should be here, right? Maybe there's no category for live streaming, but shouldn't there be? Tags. Category. Gaming. Game title. Poker. Do they have that? Is that a thing? Not really. Texas Hold'em Poker Online, I guess that's the closest. Casino, slots, and poker? Well, I hate, like, having it, you know, linked with, you know, gambling. Terrible. See if Texas Hold'em. No, it still has all the same stuff. Alright, I guess we'll make the category Casino, Slots, and Poker, I guess? Or Texas Hold'em Poker Online, I guess is not too bad. I guess we can do that. Alright. How's it going, DK? How's it going, Chilado? Chilado was complaining just today that I wasn't streaming enough. So, YouTube best live stream platform confirmed. That's true. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Unable to display some videos. Alright. Just about ready to go here. Streaming enough. Alright, it looks like it's working. Looks like everything is well and good. Yeah, I already checked Twitch. Okay. Yeah, so let's just warm up with some pre-flop shenanigans. Stuff that I should, in theory, know pretty well. This one, yeah. Although I guess we need to make all of these 0. Okay. How's it going, Mad Quick? Mad Quick's a guy that knows a little chess and a little poker. Actually, probably a lot of both. So I think this actually mixes, if I recall correctly. And I guess I didn't do the mode where it has RNG on the screen. I would normally fold. I think it does open under the gun at some small frequency. Yeah. Okay, so actually it's opening more often than not, but... GTO Wizard sponsored stream, those exist. You know, if they wanted to sponsor me, I would consider it. Although I'm generally not a big fan of sponsored streams, but GTO Wizard doesn't seem too bad. They don't seem, for a company, they don't seem that evil. You know, most companies are evil, but I don't think that they are. They're not, like, extremely evil. They're not overtly evil. How's it going, Chessmaster? I think this is bottom of range open. think this one's right on the edge. Yeah, right on the edge. Can you guys see that? Looks like you can. This one I don't think, this one is also close, but I don't think makes it in. Button, I think we're opening all suited broadways. Oh, okay, you can also limp, but I don't really play a limping. Oh, it's not opening Jack 3 and Jack Deuce, and it's not open raising Queen Deuce. So I wasn't quite correct about that. Is this the equivalent of Puzzle Rush? I mean, sort of, I guess. There's not really like a timer, although you can set it to where there is a timer. But yeah, this is just kind of me warming up because I should know all this stuff, you know, pretty well. Although I will say small blind I'm kind of shaky on. I think that, I mean, again, well, okay, it's not even giving me the option to limp here. I play a mixed strategy out of the small blind. That's the only position that I'll limp. But it looks like this is pulling from a sim with no limping. So I think this is going to be bottom of the... actually, I don't know. Because 10-8 would be the bottom on button. So are we really dipping two more down? I don't know. This one's really close. I'm going to say fold. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty close. 6 BB per 100 negative to open it. Limpin' is pimpin'. That's true. Yeah, so no limping in this model. That's not quite gonna make it. Oh, this is another one that I think is pretty close. I don't know. Offsuit one gapper? I feel like it's probably not in there. Ah, okay. Yeah. That's believable. Oh, but this one, oh, okay. So this one, I didn't even notice that the call option was there. So this one's much different when we're allowed to just limp. Yeah, and we're basically almost every offsuit two gapper is in the range there. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna make the cut. Yeah. Oh. Okay, that one mixes. Again, I think this one's just on the outside looking in, but it might be in there. Ah, okay, it's in there. I think this one. I think you open King 7 here. I don't know that we get to go all the way down to King 5 here. Yeah. Deuces are always kind of... Might be a mix, I'm not sure. It might be a fold. I'm gonna click call. Okay, it was a fold. I don't think it's that bad in practice to open deuces. All in with deuces? Yeah. That's fair. Oh yeah, I wanted to promote myself to some poker friends. Let me send out a little self-promotion plug here. All right, now I need to do the links. View on Twitch. and then on YouTube. Although everyone knows, especially Chelato, that YouTube is better. All right, that looks good. Maybe some IRL friends will join, or maybe they won't. Also possible. All right, Queen 8 off. We're not opening. 10-9 off we are. Okay, that one mixes. King 8, again, I don't think we are. I think 9's the bottom. Yeah. No. Okay, we don't have a limp option here. Queen 6 off? Well, 10-6 off was a fold. Queen 6 off is also a fold. But I'm wrong. Okay. I really don't care about this because I'm not using this. Although I kind of forgot that this is a valid strategy that you can just raise like everything from the small blind. I do a lot of limping, but maybe I should reevaluate whether I should limp from the small blind. Because it does make for some very awkward spots. Like, I don't really know how to play a lot of the spots. Okay, again, it's not giving me the limp option, but I'm gonna open. Ace deuce, this one might not quite make it. I know this one's not in the UTG open range. I can't remember if it pops in for UTG1. I'm gonna guess no. Yeah, that's so annoying. It's the only suited ace that we don't open. UTG1. 6-4, we've already had that one, didn't we? Yeah, not from this position. 10-8's in there. I guess I need to pay attention if I have the limp button or not. Yeah, I don't think that one. No. Definitely no, right? Yeah. Jack 5 off. Ah, man, you can limp like everything. That's what's good about the limping strategy, is then you get to just play like almost every hand. But is that good? Or am I just gonna get in trouble post-flop playing this range? Okay, no limp button, so I have to fold. I think this one does get to play. Yeah, how's it going, Michael? That's true. And I do want to do, like, actually, I think most of the stream I want to do post-flop studying, because I feel pretty good about my pre-flop. You know, I think I've memorized these charts relatively well. But post-flop's obviously a lot more difficult. I think this one sneaks in this position. Ah, okay. I shouldn't have said that I know the charts well enough. Okay, well, it's definitely not in here then. Ah! Yeah, a lot of these, like, exceptions, outliers are tough. I guess I'll do a full 100 of these. I think we get to open all the ace-X from the button. I've had 6-4 suited on the button several times. Although, I guess the other times it was with no limps. So with limping, you get to play a little more. This one's in there. This is one that's easy to miss, I think. 10-8 suited plays from like every position. Yeah, I think we go all the way down to ace-5 offsuit in the cutoff. That's a mix. Do pro players actually know all these perfectly? I don't know about perfectly, but I mean, like, the mistakes aren't necessarily like that important. Like you can see here, like over 60 hands, I've only lost not even a third of a big blind. So I mean, like, I'm sure that a pro player would do a lot better than this, losing 1/100th of a big blind per hand pre-flop. But yeah, I don't think you actually have to memorize all these charts. What I try to do, which is based off of the recommendation from a really good player, is to just memorize this 25 big blind opening range as well as I can, and then make adjustments from, like, basically just use this as a baseline and then adjust accordingly, you know, as the situation calls for it. Because this is like the most common stack size that you'll have playing MTTs, I would say. Okay, we don't have the call button unlocked. Man, it's a pretty bad hand, but I think it might be in there. Yeah, all the offsuit King X except for King Deuce. Yeah, I don't think that makes the cut. Ah, yeah, it's one of those weird little corners. Surely we're not playing Jack 6. You got to know when to hold him and then also know when to fold him. That's true. But what about when to raise him? Yeah, I think King 7 suited plays here. Hey, I got a corner one right. And what about when to run? Although for playing tournaments, you don't have to know when to walk away and when to run, because that just happens automatically. Somebody tells you. You don't have to know. Can you adjust the other stack size at the table? No, but what you can do is they have all these different solutions. So I'm using symmetric stacks 25 BB. Actually, I'm not sure. Usually there are, I don't know why they're not here right now. Oh, I guess because I'm doing post flop included. Oh, well, I was wrong there too. Usually there's, they have some solutions that are like, what am I trying to say? Asymmetric stacks. I don't know why they're not here. Usually they're here. Is it here? Well, what gives? Why are they not here? So if you go to study, they have all these different stack sizes that you can work with. Yeah, so like, okay, here's basically what I was looking for. So here's all the different solutions they have. And you see, you know, a lot of them are symmetric, but then they also have a lot that aren't symmetric. So you can't manually input, like, I want this position to have this stack size, but like you can, you know, you can, like, if you're trying to review a hand or something, you can just try to find one that's like pretty close to what was going on at your table. Like find one, like if you're in the hijack and your villain was, you know, the button, and you had 25 bigs and he had 17 bigs, like you might use this one, right? You just try to find one that is close-ish. I think with Pio, well, I know with Pio, you can, you know, enter the sizes manually, but it takes a lot of, you know, computing power to actually generate those solutions. So these are all just solutions that have, you know, already been run and that are saved on the GTO Wiz server. All right. Yeah, that's a close one, but I think it's a fold. Wouldn't be shocked if it's an open. Okay, it's a mix. I think that one's a fold. No call button unlocked. Yeah, it's an open. Mixes. Okay, whatever. It's gonna open. Don't think so, but again, wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. Ah, we have the call button unlocked. So then I assume we can mix raises and calls. I'm usually more inclined to raise, you know, these shitty hands that don't really want to see a flop. Ah, but it's just calling them pure. Okay, so that's something I need to work on. So, okay. So a lot of these shitty hands actually just call. And I, you know, I guess that's our call, our limp fold range. And then we have like, I assume all these up here are going to be limp calls. And then everything kind of in the middle can mix, I guess is what's going on. It'd also be cool if they showed the percentage of each answer people submitted. That would be kind of cool. But, I mean, you know, like we were saying, I don't think that these charts have to be considered gospel. So if the idea is to see, like, what hands people are missing, I don't know that it's that useful, but it might be. It would be interesting anyway. How's it going, Cheesy Gazebo? All right, 15 more of these. Surely this one's too shitty. Okay, good. I guess it's yeah, because 7 was the bottom. I don't know. I need someone really good to tell me if I should play this mixed strategy on the small blind or if I should just play only opens. Or if I should care. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this one makes it in. I think that's another one that a lot of people would miss. It probably like mixes, but I'm just gonna fold. Oh, it's mostly raise. Okay. I think this is one of the. Oh, but we have the call button. Okay, so based off of what I remember, I think this one mixes. We'll click call. Oh, I did not mix. It's like calling pure. Okay. People will try to skew or manipulate it in some way. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I feel like if you're a poker player who's trying to like squeeze every, you know, bit of advantage that you can out of the game, there's probably lower hanging fruit than like I'm gonna manipulate the data on this website that people have to pay hundreds of dollars to get anyway. But you never know. There's some crazy people out there. 3 more. 4s are surely in there. Surely. Median. I'm adequate. All right. Not too bad. All right, let's do some post-flop stuff. All right. So we're going to start at the flop. Pre-flop action. So I'm actually not real. Well, probably it says here. ISO means a limper called a raise. Okay. And they don't even have squeeze in there, but I know what a squeeze is. I don't know that I want ISO in there because I feel like, well, I don't know. It seems like most of the people who are limping a lot are, you know, fish, and then this doesn't really apply to them anyway. So I don't know that I want to have ISO in there. We'll keep limp in there just in case we get some blind versus blind stuff. I don't really even want to have squeeze in there. So we'll just have single raise pot, 3-bet, and limp, and then it says, like, it shows that there's 4-bet, but then there's no 4-bet option, so I don't know. Okay, and then, yeah, we'll keep doing 25 BB, chip EV. Is there anything else? They have all these settings in here. Okay, wait. What happened? The Fault in Our Death Stars. Thanks for following. I thought, oh, all settings. That's probably what I'm looking for. Yeah, okay. So board, yeah, I want any board. And then for hands, I just want, I don't really like this setting that is there by default, close decisions. Because at least for pre-flop, then what happens is ones that aren't close decisions I haven't drilled. So I kind of just like, but I don't know, since we're doing post-flop, like, we don't really want, you know, 8 deuce offsuit in the range. So maybe close decisions make sense for post-flop, I don't know. Mode, I kind of want to try full hand. Difficulty standard. Yep. Off. Learning mode on, I like. We'll do 50. I mean, that might even be a lot, to be honest. Show hints, show quick results. Yeah, let's show the RNG. I haven't really implemented that in my game, but I feel like I should. Yeah, that probably is all good. Okay, so I think we're good to go. We can always come back and change it. So with learning mode on, yeah, this won't show until we make our decision. All right, so single raise pot. So we open, we got called by the small blind. I mean, really, this board shouldn't connect with anybody at all. Like, if it were big blinds, then I think we're more worried, because this connects more with a big blind defend range than a small blind defend range. So I think with the board being neutral, I think, you know, we have a stronger range than this player from pre-flop. So I think it makes sense to range bet kind of small. So I'm going to click the 1/5 pot bet button. Okay, it actually wants to bet big. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like, small blind probably doesn't really have that many overpairs. Maybe they have 7s, 8s. I would think anything bigger would be, you know, 3-betting. I mean, 7s and 8s could 3-bet too. Okay, so it's not range betting this, but pretty close to range betting. But I am a little surprised that it likes betting bigger. Although, I mean, this is difficult to implement. So it's mostly betting, 1/3. So I'm going to give myself, a decent amount of credit for that one. Because nobody's implementing this, 6 different bet size strategy. Oh, now it says next hand. I was hoping that we would play, like, the whole hand out. But, okay. Also, I told it 50, but it's giving me 100. So did it, like, not save my settings? I think it didn't save my settings, because I also don't see the RNG anywhere. But, I don't know. I mean, it saved this. Yeah, and it says spot, not full hand. I want full hand. And I want the RNG. Okay, it gave me the RNG this time. Alright, so this is a 3-bet pot. So, low jack open, we 3-bet with 7s. And we got called. I mean, our hand really wants to bet here. Because obviously we have a very strong hand, and we unblock top pair and second pair even. So our hand definitely wants to bet. I'm generally range betting 3-bets, but I probably should refine that strategy a little bit more. But yeah, I'm thinking just range bet on the smaller side. The board's not like super wet. Okay, the deuce doesn't really matter. But it's a double flush draw board now. So, I mean, I think we want to be betting big, to protect our value. And the biggest size we have is just over half pot, so. Yeah, when I clicked save, it was asking me to save that, set of settings as a drill. Which maybe I will do if I end up liking this setup, so. Alright, so let's see if my assumptions were right. Yeah, I mean, it's doing a lot of different bet sizing, but it is basically range betting the board, which makes sense. Pretty good board for the 3-better. And yeah, the turn. Yeah, we're basically only using this all-in sizing. Doesn't make a ton of sense to bet quarter pot when we only have half behind. Single raise pot. So we opened, got called by the button. This is just going to be a range. Well, I would assume this is a range bet because this board hits the under the gun range pretty hard. So I'm again going to be inclined to just c-bet on the small side here. Okay. Yeah, and that's exactly what. Well, it's not really range betting, but yeah, the small size makes a lot of sense. So what are we checking back? We're checking back weaker pairs. This king 9 suited, which I guess is... Why does king 9 suited want to check on ace queen 7 rainbow? All we have is backdoor flushes and some backdoor... I mean, I guess we have a lot of backdoor straights and... Not really, though. So I'm surprised to see king 9 suited checking a lot. 9s and 8s make sense. Aces make sense, but... Alright, whatever. Single raise pot. We got called by cutoff. I mean, our hand really wants to check. I don't think we have to range bet. This range is going to be, similar in strength to ours. But I don't know, double Broadway? I don't know. I'm inclined to check because my hand wants to check, but I don't know if that's right. It feels like it should be big better check. I'm gonna check. Okay, so the king is an interesting turn. Presumably his king X is betting the flop. So like I think the king's a better card for us. Because we could conceivably had been going for a check raise on the flop. But I would think that, he's not going to check back a king on a fairly wet board. That said, our hand still wants to check. So I don't know, we don't really need to be bluffing. So what do? We mix? I'm gonna check. Okay. I don't think anybody in the real world is making this bet, but call seems perfectly reasonable. Okay, and then terrible river for our hand. But pretty reasonable river for the range. Kind of like block betting here. I don't know if it block bets in theory. I don't know the theory behind block betting, but I like block betting in practice. Although, I mean, he did take the betting lead from us on the previous street. I don't know if we really want to be donking this. But what does he have? He checks flop and then just does like a tiny bet on the turn. I mean, all the flush draws missed. I guess Queen 10 got there, but Queen 10 you would think would be a little more aggressive. Flush draws you would think would be more aggressive. So I guess this is like showdown value. If it's showdown value, we don't really beat any showdown value. We do block some value. We block Queen 10. I guess it's not good to have the 10 of spades. We block some bluffs with spades, although I am assuming that if he's bluffing with spades, he's not bluffing for like 20% pot. So I don't know. Do we bluff with this hand? We also rolled 98 if we're, you know, living by that. I feel like a bluff's pretty reasonable. Like the ace should hit us more than it hits him. We're saying we don't have any showdown value. So yeah, I can get behind bluffing 10s. Is that crazy? I'm gonna click this. I don't know. I'm not very confident about it. I think if we want to bet, it should have been earlier. Maybe. Ah, it wants to check. Okay. I talked to myself into a bluff. I think in game I would probably be more inclined to check, but then like I managed to talk myself into bluffing. Okay. I mean, yeah, obviously we hate that. Selected, yeah. So basically, this doesn't matter because my bluff doesn't exist in GTO. Okay, so I want to check some of my assumptions here. So we're basically range checking out of position, which I guess makes some sense. And he's also like basically range checking behind, which I wouldn't have. Or no, I'm sorry, this is the wrong. I don't know if I have this right. I want the cutoff strategy. All right, I'm just gonna click this. Yeah, so we're range checking. And then I claimed that the cutoff would be betting most of his kings. Not quite true. So he's betting the spade combos at a higher frequency, which, you know, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough because who's actually playing this way? Who's mixing like every combo? So our bluffs are coming from like gut shots. And I mean blocking king queen, I guess, is good. Which I guess is why queens is betting so heavily. Yeah, I mean the kings that he has are king queen and king jack. Because obviously ace king is gonna raise us pre-flop. So he never has ace king. So I guess the queen is a really good blocker. Okay. So I guess I was wrong about this ace hitting us harder than it hit him. Wait. Yeah, I was trying to see what the I guess I can they don't have river reports. Okay. I was trying to see like how the ace affected the EV for both players. But I don't know if I'll actually be able to see that. All right. Cool. I don't know what I learned, but maybe something. Single raise pot, small blind defend. I mean, yeah, I think we're not range betting this board. Like we've got to be a little bit worried that this is going to hit small blind harder than us. That said, we're at, you know, pretty close to the bottom of our range here. So I think I'm inclined to bet, you know, because we can very easily just bet fold. So I'm going to click bet 1/3. Okay, and that worked. Hooray for us. Hey, I'm perfect. I figured it all out. Ah. Wanted this one. Yep. So we're checking some, we're betting some. You know, I just realized that the music isn't going. Oh, I guess it's because I changed my flip to a different account. All right, we'll try to get the music back. I like music. There we go. Single raise pot. We got called by the hijack. I mean, yeah, it's another kind of board that, like, I guess it shouldn't really connect with anyone. Just gonna check. Yeah, he bets what, like a quarter? I mean, I think we can just let the, I mean, we do have a backdoor flush draw. That's like pretty much all we got going. Obviously, we got the overcards. It might be a little nitty to fold. Maybe we can continue. We got a backdoor straight in, you know, barely. We rolled pretty high. Maybe we can continue. I guess I'll continue. What would I recommend for a beginner? Not this. There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. Not on my YouTube, but on other people's YouTube. But yeah, I mean, you got to learn pre-flop ranges first. And, you know, that's probably the most important thing as a beginner. All right. So I guess calling was right because it didn't complain that I called. Again, this is, you know, complete brick. So I think we've got to check fold at this point. Okay, it's another brick. I mean, are we ever wanting to bluff here? Does our hand make sense as a bluff? It's bad to hold a spade, I think. We really would like for him to have been, you know, bluffing But he's probably just, I mean, he might just be bluffing with, mixing all of his range on the flop. But I mean, we would kind of prefer that he have two spades. Yeah, also, I mean, if he has two spades, he's more inclined to fold to us, I think. So we don't like having a spade. So I think we just give up. I don't really like I mean, you can also argue we have showdown. Nah, we don't really have showdown value. I mean, maybe once in a while he has like king 10 or something. It wants us to bluff. King high seems like okay showdown. I mean, but like if he has queen high, he should be bluffing. If he has jack high, he should be bluffing. So yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of ace high from him. Or weak pairs, So yeah, it wants to like block bet. Block bet bluffing is so unintuitive to me. But yeah, I mean, it's bluffing like almost everything. Well, okay, kind of hard to see, but it's checking a lot of the ace highs, but then all these other, all this other stuff that doesn't have a pair, it's mostly bluffing. All right. Have to put them on flush draw or ace high and nothing else to make that blocker bet. Well, the guy had quads, so I guess we're not getting him off of quads, but yeah, I mean, the thing about him being on a flush draw is if he's on a flush draw, we don't need to bluff him, right? I mean, unless he's on, the nut flush draw, which he could be on, but wow. Okay, so this is a 3-bet pot. I mean, obviously we were never ever folding. I think the question is, are we just jamming? I mean, like, he's sort of representing an overpair here, right? So, I mean, we're like basically a favorite against an overpair. So, I mean, it's really hard to not jam here. Like, I think most people in game would just jam. And I think that's probably just correct to do. So, let's just send it. And it wasn't overpair, and we got there. Hooray. How's it going, Ruby? Yeah, and we also just didn't have that many chips behind. It wanted to just call. But okay, it's mixing, but it's mostly calling. I mean, this range is kind of difficult to glean much from, because like who has 9s and 6s but doesn't have 8s and 7s here? So like it's basically saying that 8s and 7s are either folding or 4-betting pre. Like, who's playing this way? I don't know. Like, seems hard to play that way. I'm doing pretty well. I'm a little tired, but all right, single raise pot. So we defended the small blind. So we're just gonna check and flow. There's no reason we should be leading this board. Yeah, and again, he bets like quarter pot. I mean, we have 3 to a straight. I think we kind of have to call, unfortunately. We're not like thrilled about it, but I think, I don't know, we don't even have a backdoor flush though. We do have 2 overs to the 6, which is not like totally irrelevant. I think we have to call, but I don't think we love it. All right, and the board double pairs. I mean, the 6 is interesting. He shouldn't really have much, he shouldn't really have much 6x in his range. I don't know that we should have much 6x either. 6x is kind of hard to say. I think checking makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and again, like, do we bluff with basically no showdown value? Like, this guy's repping ace high, you know, over pairs to a 6. I mean, we have like no equity. Like, what do we beat? With Jack 10, if it would play this way, that's basically the only hand we beat. Or like 10-8 suited or something. Can we reasonably rep a 6? Can we reasonably rep a 9? I mean, we probably do have more 9s than he does. Is that even true? I don't know. I don't really like bluffing here, but it does kind of feel like one of those spots where, like, we have no showdown value. Yeah. Bottom of range must bluff. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Does ace high even fold? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably not. I mean, if we're gonna make ace high fold, we would have to bet pretty big, right? Oh, I had to check the baseball game. I shouldn't have checked. Although I expected the Braves to lose, so. If you don't bluff this combo, what do you bluff? I mean, that's a very fair question. Pocket 5s, pocket 4s, pocket 3s. I guess those are like the most obvious bluffs. Although we don't really have all that many of them. But yeah, I mean, like, ace high is not bluffing. You know, any pair greater than a 6 is not really bluffing. Those do not beat ace high. Those lose to ace high. Because both pairs on the board are higher. So yeah, those are like the only sort of natural bluffs. But I mean, the other question is, do we actually have a lot of value hands here? But do ace highs even want to bluff? Like, ace high feels like a better bluff catcher than a bluff, right? We do block king queen, and we block jack king. So I mean, we have some reasonable bluff catching, or, you know, bluff properties there. So yeah, I think we kind of have to bluff. Sizing wise, I mean, we shouldn't really have all that much value. But if we don't have that much value, then we shouldn't have many bluffs. And we get here with a lot of stuff that can bluff. But maybe this is one of our best bluffing hands because we block king, queen, and king, jack. We even block king, jack suited. We don't block king, queen suited. So yeah, I don't know. I think we have to bluff, but I really don't know about sizing. I guess when we have a lot of hands that can bluff, I don't know. I probably should just know this without having to think about it. But okay, when we have a lot of hands that can bluff and not that many hands that are value, then our sizing goes which way? I can't remember how the math works. So if we're value betting and we have a lot of bluffs, then we bet big. So I think we bet big here too. I'm worried that I'm talking myself into making a terrible play, but I feel like maybe we just bet like, you know, pretty big, like one of these buttons. How's it going, Josh? King Queen suited is a good name for chess. Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like I'm going to click this button and it's going to tell me that I'm really stupid. But this is the button I've talked myself into clicking. Ah, okay, it wants to check. I should have known. So what are our bluffs? It's not even bluffing 4s. It is bluffing 5s, 3s, and deuces. Why is that not bluffing? Like, why are we bluffing? Aren't these like all basically the same hand? So I have no idea why 4s were just like, yeah, whatever, we give up. But these other hands, we bluff. So the bluffs are coming from 7-8 suited, 6-7 suited. Jack, I mean, there's not really a ton here. There's more value. I would assume that Queen Jack is just a give up. Like if we check and then he bets. I guess maybe the takeaway is we just don't have that much value, so we can't really have that many bluffs. And our premium bluffs are going to be these under pairs. I guess that's what we're saying. I don't know if that's really accurate or not. Ah, he called our bluff. Stupid computer. Ah, because he spiked the 9. Although he was ahead of us on every street. So I'm going to check to see what happens if we check. And then he bets. So it's mostly betting big for hijack. Yeah, we're just folding the Queen Jack. Did it want something different on the flop? Good question. Yeah, so it's saying... Wait, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's saying we can just fold on the flop, which I think I did sort of him and haw and call. And I am curious from a math perspective, like I understand mixing, but I thought when it mixes, it's saying that the options are the same EV. But in this case, calling is worth something. Folding's obviously 0 EV. So I thought whenever it mixed, that meant that, you know, this action was going to be 0 EV also. So I'm a little confused on how this works out math-wise, but... Yeah, like if the bet had been bigger on the flop, like he bet 20%. If the bet had been bigger, then I'm letting this go. But I think basically with 3 to a straight and 2 overs to the 6, you know, and like the best overs, basically, you know, discounting the ace. It seemed like one of the first hands that we're gonna defend. You know. Yeah, I mean it likes, you know, I'm assuming these are the suited combos or the combos with sorry, with backdoor flush draws that are defending. 0.02 EV is close enough. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Solver quits running when options get close enough. That might be true. That might be true. All right. 3-bet pot. Yeah, I mean, he's betting a quarter. I think we have to defend with a pair. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like, you know, it seems kind of crazy to be value betting. So check feels very natural here. The one sort of nice thing we have going for us is that we block 9-8, which is, you know, the nuts. Ace is a very unfortunate card for us, I gotta think. Yeah, I mean, we block 9-8, but that's not even the nuts anymore. We block Queen 10 also, or I'm sorry, Queen King is the nuts, so we don't block anything that's that relevant. I feel like it's a fold. You know, I feel like sometimes the solver will just have these calls, but in practice, is this ever a bluff? Probably not. Like it wants to call. Like, why call? We have third pair. Yeah, I mean, the sizing does feel unfortunate too. So I'm just curious what hands it is calling here. Oh, it's mixing. Wait. No, it's not mixing. Now I'm confused. Oh, it's calling diamonds. I guess that's what it's saying, is it's calling diamonds and it's folding the other combos. Wait, why did the music stop again? I told it to have music. Alright, there we go. Shuffle play. Alright, finally. Alright, what was I gonna click? This button. I wanted to know. Yeah, so it's calling 10-8 of diamonds and it's folding the other suits. So why are diamonds so good to defend? We don't even have 10-8 of hearts. That might be beyond my pay grade. Why hearts? I guess hearts we folded on the turn. Or on the flop. Turn went check, check. So for some reason... Oh no, we don't have 10-8 of hearts because the 10 of hearts is on the board. That's a pretty good reason. Okay. So... yeah, why are diamonds so good? Games Magazine? Wait, when are they going to interview me? I play games. What was your interview about? General Scrabble stuff? I mean, all I can put together is like, okay, like I don't even know if this is relevant, but looking at the cards that were there on the flop, the diamond is the low card. I don't know if that like matters at all. Your chess puzzle, yeah, they should interview you about that. Yeah, send the article. Blue is diamond, yeah. Yeah, I think it does have to do with, but the thing is, the turn completed the rainbow, so all the backdoor flushes are you know, worthless on the turn. I mean, I get, like, the best thing I can figure is that we're saying on the flop, he's more likely to bluff with backdoor spades, backdoor hearts. So it's better for us to hold diamonds so that we unblock his flop bluffs. But I don't know, that just feels like way too difficult to even try to think about. Jag make it less likely that we have spades. Yeah, I'm kind of with Ducky. We're in the ballpark, but like, I don't know why. $6 just to read an article? Can't you just like copy and paste the entire text or something? All right, that one was too hard. Poker's too hard. All right, we got aces, 3-bet pot. So we opened button 3-bet, and then like a sly little dog, we just called with aces. Well, we're obviously checking to the pre-flop aggressor. And are we just letting him barrel off here, or are we taking the initiative away from him? I mean, it feels like consistent, like we're trapping on the flop, or trapping pre-flop. Why are we not trapping now? There's not too many cards that can hit that scare us. SPR is already won. I mean, that's true. Like, just shoving is not really all that, you know, big. Josh preserving the sanctity of print media. Yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna call. Okay, that's one of the few cards that we kind of don't like. Because, like, okay, there's only 2 combos of Queen 10 that should be there, like Queen 10 suited. But there's, you know, also 4 combos of King Jack that we're now losing to. But, I mean, that's really not all that many combos. I mean, I think these stack sizes were just, you know, we're just going with our hand. I feel like it does kind of make sense to jam now. I mean, it's so small in relation to the pot that... But, you know, why are we gonna let a king roll off or an 8 roll off, you know? Or a jack, you know, something like that. I don't know, I guess just jam, but it might not matter much. He folded, wow. Okay. Yeah, with shorter stacks tend you more to slow play because there's, like, you know, it's not as difficult to get the money in. Okay, it did just want to jam the flop, which is totally reasonable, but it's basically mixing. I mean, this is kind of an easy hand. Like, there's kind of no wrong way to play the hand. You had trips? You can't have trips. You can have a set, but you can't have trips. Alright. Big blind 3-bet. We called with ace-10 suited. Big blind check. I mean, our hand wants to check, and, like, you know, this guy is, you know, he 3-bet an early position raise, so check seems really good. He's checking again. We do block ace-queen. I mean, check seems pretty good. Our hand is very middle strength. I mean, that's a pretty annoying card. Although, is he really checking the flop with top pair? Probably not. Is he checking a king on the turn? I would also think probably not. We do block aces, which is like a hand that might make sense. Yeah. So you can't have trips unless there's a pair on the board. There were 2 10s on the board? Okay, well then you're right and I'm wrong. I didn't notice there were 2 10s on the board. But yeah, it is pedantic. But I like pedantry. Whatever the word is. I want to click call. In the real world, I don't know if I would click call. But in theory lands, like what's he supposed to be doing this with? Aces, which we block. I guess kings would play this way. There's only 3 combos. Him checking the flop is what has me puzzled. Checking flop and turn seems kind of strange for the 3-better. I don't know, I want to click call. Let's click call. Alright, yeah, and he just had... Like... who the hell is finding the 3-bet with Queen 4 offsuit? Like, what? It actually wanted to bet the flop. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm never doing this 10% bet, so I don't really care that it wants to do that. I'm just curious what I don't understand about poker. The Queen 4 offsuit is raising it some tiny frequency. Is 3-bet bluffing. I mean, that's just insane. Who's gonna actually do that? mean, this is just a range bet. Early position versus big blind. Yeah, we can't fold with top pair. Raising doesn't make any sense. Okay, we don't really like the flush coming in. We're definitely gonna check. Pretty terrible run out for us. I mean, I don't know that there's really fives in this range here. The funny thing is we chop with any other ace. So if he was check raising us with top pair, which would be part of his check raising range, then at best we're chopping. We could still lose to ace jack or ace queen. Those hands could be in the range, you know, offsuit, I guess. 25 BB was the starting stacks. Yeah, you can see right here is the starting stacks. Oh yeah, or right here. That's right. So, I mean, I'm kind of inclined to fold. Like, the guy's overbet jamming. Like, the check raise on the flop represents top pair or some really strong draw. And, I mean, the main draws got there. Spades. And yeah, top pair we're just chopping with. And we have to call 19 to win 16. Which is kind of shitty. So I kind of just want to fold and say, if you bluffed me, or if you blew me off a chop, like, good for you. Isn't the guy going to turn over spades here a lot? I feel like he is. Wait, what was your question, Josh? What question did I dodge? Yeah, I don't think we beat anything. Well, we beat bluffs, but like, what are the bluffs? It feels like his flop, you know, bluff turned into good hands, right? Never mind. All right. I mean, I'll answer any question. It just, you know, certain questions I wouldn't give a satisfying answer to, but like, the only thing we could feasibly beat is if he's turning like there could be some 2x that gets turned into a bluff. Could be. That's like the only thing we beat. I think we have to click fold. Yeah. Yeah, the question basically comes down to what's the range that raises check raises flop. And yeah, there's some ace-x that's in there. I assume these are all the spade combos. Okay, there are some backdoor. Okay, so I guess that's one class of hands that we beat, is if he bluffs with backdoor hearts. And yeah, okay, so I mean, these hands that have a 4 and a 3 and that are hearts are also, like, you know, a wheel draw. I mean, it's even bluffing with like clubs and diamonds. A lot of these hands that have wheel draws. So there are more bluffs than, you know. I mean, I don't know that people are actually finding these bluffs. Like, is someone really finding the 7-4 of diamonds bluff here? Pretty tough one to find. What was our hand? Ace-9 suited. Okay, so it was just, it's indifferent on the river. Yeah. Well, that is what the solver likes to do, is to make you indifferent. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these that are calling are just the spades, which are a nut flush, you know. It's funny to me that the king, I'm trying to understand why this is the case, but the EV for the non-nut flushes is higher than the EV for the nut flushes. Oh no, that's not. I guess this is the average EV across all the combos. I guess that's what this 5.6 is. That makes more sense. If I make the wrong decision, I have to rip another Zubat. It would be so much work to dig one out. That's my only hesitation of it. You're gonna do something like these puzzles as a daily short, opening Scrabble racks. That'd be a good one. That seems like a solid idea. Okay, we 3-bet him with ace-7 off and got called. Jack-10-9, Rainbow. I mean, yeah, again, I like to just, like, I really am not that good. I don't have much understanding of what our c-bet range off of 3-bets is. I tend to just bet. The Braves are still losing by 3 runs. Am I addicted to the Pokemon card pack opening short sky? No, I haven't. I've seen like maybe 1 or 2, but I don't know if I mean like years ago. I can't remember the last time I watched one. Don't think we see about this one. So, I mean, I do feel like generally these cards are going to favor the preflop caller, you know, because our range is going to be more, you know, have more aces and kings and big cards. But I mean, it is a 3-bet. It's not like, you know, like that would be more true, I think, if we opened like early and then big blind defended. We do have a gut shot. The problem is our gut shot's kind of bad because if the queen hits, then we lose to any king X, which, you know, he's going to have a lot of. We're out of position. But, you know, we have the pre-flop betting lead. So, I guess the answer is I don't know. I'm more inclined to c-bet. Because I like c-betting when I'm the 3-better. But I don't know if it's right, but I'm going to click this button. Okay, well that's a pretty reasonable card for us. We have to be pretty worried that this guy's got us out kicked. Although it is a little interesting, because ace-king you would think would be 4-betting pre-flop. I guess aces could trap, but there's only one combo of aces left. So, we don't really think he has aces. We don't think he has ace-king. Ace-jack you would think would be check-raising the flop. So, ace-queen could exist. Ace-10 could exist. Ace-9, I guess, could exist. Queens would probably be betting. Well, I mean, yeah, queens is also probably 4-betting pre-flop, I would think. So, we really usually have the best hand here, but... what do we actually get value from? Like, does he ever just hold an 8? The only queen, like, king-queen exists, you know? We're completely crushed by. We only bet quarter flop, so he could just defend with some, like, backdoor flushes, which I'll brick out. I'm more inclined to check here, but I really don't know the answer. I think it's just jam. I don't know, man. It feels like... what's gonna call our jam? Like, because I'm just presuming he doesn't have much Jack X. Well, I don't know. He could have a fair amount of Jack X. Because, like, is Jack X really gonna raise the flop when, you know, we have queens, kings, and aces in our range? 2 pair for him here? Yeah, I mean... values make him fold gut shot or whatever instead of checking back. Yeah. I mean, I like denying equity as much as the next guy. mean, pretty much, yeah, a lot of his range does have some kind of gut shot or something. Like, he could have eights that would... I mean, eights might be inclined to just jam the flop, though. I don't know. I'm, like, more inclined to check, but I really don't know if it's right. I'm gonna click check. Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, I don't think we can fold. I mean, I just check call at this point. I don't really see the point in doing anything else. Yeah, I don't think we can fold. Interesting. So I wanted to continue. This is a really unintuitive line to me, like bet small flop, bet small turn. I do kind of like, I found in practice it seems to spook people, like like they really start to get worried that you're just like milking them. Like it feels like I get a lot of folds out of that line. But, you know, I don't know what to make of it in theory. Never check, never jam, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all these options are pretty close in EV. No, I mean, it's saying check, all in. It's giving all of these equally, like, wrong grades. Yeah, everything's kind of fun. I mean, like, you know, our hand is just good most of the time, so it can't be that bad. But... All right, another 3-bet. So we're gonna check and flow. And yeah, we're definitely calling the small c-bet. And continue to play and flow. Alright, so now the only question is, do we go for some kind of block bet for value? I mean, the turn brought in double flush draw. So, like, any ace-x is very inclined to be, you know, barreling the turn. It just has a lot to protect against. You know, there's gut shots, there's a lot of gut shots, there's flush draws. So it's kind of hard to put him on an ace, so we really should have the best hand here most of the time. I mean, even like pocket sevens, right, has a lot of equity to protect it, you know. Has a lot of cards to protect against. So we probably have the best hand. So I think we're betting. I mean, unless we're just checking to induce. But you would also think that his spades and his backdoor hearts would follow up, would barrel the turn also. And those are the hands that are going to want to, you know, those are his natural bluffs on the river. I mean, it's possible he has a stronger jack than us. I guess we have to worry a little bit about that. He could also have queens or kings. So maybe we're value owning ourselves if we bet a little bit. But these are also the kind of spots where block betting kind of makes sense. Because, like, if we check and the guy ends up betting, like, 2/3 pot, which is just a jam, like, we probably have to call, but that's not really, you know, like, block betting could actually save us some money, right? Like, if we block bet and he calls with kings or queens, then that was, you know, we saved money rather than calling his jam. So I think I like block betting here. I'm going with block bet. How's it going, Fate? I defer to Fate. Fate knows everything. Yeah, I guess value betting is insane. Once I remembered that he could have kings and queens, I was like, oh yeah. And he could have better jacks, so. Is this a merge situation? I'm not good enough to ever know when merging is correct. Like, I would never be able to identify, like, we should, you know, we have a good opportunity to make a merge bet here. 10% is kind of cool, but you're getting jammed by bluffs anyway. I just, like, I can't do a 10% bet in practice. Like, I know the solver does it a lot, but I don't know. I'm not good enough to bet 10%. I'm gonna do the block bet thing. I guess the only remaining question is, like, if we block bet and we get jammed on, are we just gonna call anyway? And then end up losing all the money to queens and kings? Which the answer is probably yes, because we'll be getting insane pot odds. So if that's the case, then what function does block betting have? Well, I guess the function is that kings and queens, we're saying, are not going to jam. They're just going to get to showdown because they're worried that we have an ace. All right, I like block betting. Nah, it wants to check. Okay. And I assume we're check calling. It was kings. God, what a world. All right. Well, let's go to the other button. Oh, 10% is a block. See, I don't know. That feels so small. Standard check call. So maybe I just like block betting too much. Maybe that's the problem. So we had what, Jack 10 of something of clubs. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of part of my premise, is that spades and hearts are going to barrel the turn, but I guess the solver isn't going to do that 100%. Now what happened? Thussle, thank you for the sub. I'm going to also trust Thussle if he gives his opinion. But yeah, thank you for the sub, man. All right, so what was I trying to learn here? So it doesn't like this bet size. It's just always all in. Maybe I can take that away from the hand. Like, does block betting ever make sense if you're just gonna have to call a jam anyway? And the hands that it's jamming, you know, aces, that makes sense. And Queen 10 is a, you know, nice misdraw. And it's even jamming 10s at some frequency. I guess we like jacks. We like king jack and queen jack because they block kings and queens from our opponent. I guess that's why we like those jacks more than jack 10. 10-9 is also a bluff. All right, I don't know if I learned anything. I want to do this a lot, and then hopefully eventually I'll learn something. Tried to visit friends at Texas campus last Sunday. Well, the Texas football team is not ranked #1 anymore. Alabama's ranked #1 in the AP. In coaches poll, Texas is still ranked #1. Are you sure you weren't there on Saturday? Because the game was on Saturday, not on Sunday. But it might have still been crowded on Sunday. I don't know. I learned 1/3 size of dislike there. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, on Saturday they were ranked #1, but Alabama beat Georgia Saturday night, and Georgia's a really good team. So we have the best win in the country now, so everybody ranked us #1. That is true that you're a cash game grinder, as far as I know. I don't know if grinder's accurate, but I knew that you played cash more than tournaments anyway. I feel like grinder's accurate, but I don't know. Okay, what's up here? 3-bet. So we 3-bet, cutoff called. flopped a nothing burger, so surely we're just like c-betting our range, right? Because this flop does nothing for anybody. Living the good life. Ah, so a grinder who has like transcended. All right, was I right? Yeah, we just bet everything. Online cash just feels so hopeless to me. Like, I don't know. It just like, maybe I just suck at poker and that's the problem. But man, it just feels like you have to be so good and then you just grind out like a tiny edge. Ah, it seems really daunting. I've like completely flipped. I used to not like the idea of tournaments online, and now I'm like, I can't even imagine trying to play cash online. Single raise pot. All of poker's small edges. I mean, that's true. Yeah. I just like that tournaments, like, every spot is so unique compared to cash. Like, so many cash spots are just like, yep, it's another 100 BB, you know, like. Mid-stakes regs are still plenty exploitable. Yeah, that seems pretty true. I probably need to get better at playing more exploitative. I mean, I need to get better at everything, obviously, but... Okay, single raise pot. I mean, it's an ace-high board. We are out of position, but we're in +1 and it's an ace-high board, and we have a pretty reasonable, you know, hand that likes bluffing anyway. So c-bet seems pretty reasonable. Do we click this button or this button is my main question. I feel like this button, in game I would probably bet a quarter, but it seems like it never gives me the quarter option. GM says FM is exploitable, yeah. I wanted to man, look at how much we check. It's basically range checking. But we got there on the river, so obviously we did the right thing. I probably do c-bet too much out of position, and you know, when we get called by someone who's like not in the blinds. That seems to be kind of a recurring theme. Low ace-high boards are really the only ones who get the c-bet out of position and heads up. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that, but now I do. Will I remember it is another question. Under the gun open, we 3-bet and got called. King high board, it's dry as the Sahara out here. This feels like the kind of spot where the solver's gonna be all over this 10% thing. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this compared to like my score pre-flop, that's the kind of annoying thing, is like, it does seem like post-flop is where, you know, most of the leaks likely are, but it's very difficult to like actually learn from this. Like, I find it difficult to learn because it's like you have to like sort of decipher these esoteric patterns. Pool usually designs their calling ranges poorly. Yeah, that's definitely, like, in cash, yeah, I would, like, if I ever saw someone call in any position other than the big blind, I'd be like, oh, that guy doesn't know what he's doing, you know. Only with Rex behind, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna click this button. All right, I mean, I feel like this is a pretty much a brick, like 7-8 is not in the range. There's no 2-pair in the range. There's no straights in the range. It's basically pocket pairs, and does the guy have a king? A king doesn't have to raise. I mean, especially like if the guy has ace king, he might 4-bet us pre, but you know, there's really no need for him to raise. So I kind of like this, you know, another small bet here, because we still just kind of have a range advantage. You know, but I don't think we really have, you know, like we don't have like a advantage at the top of the range or anything, but I think our range is just stronger. It's a neutral board. I mean, like, who's taking this line? I mean, we can't call, right? Like, we're just bluff catching, obviously. What does he bluff with? What does he bluff with? Like, what is he coming along with that now needs to bluff? I mean, we did not really thin out his range much with our tiny bets. I mean, I guess we just have to fold. Like, he could have sevens. That's plausible. He could have eights. Suits are bad. Because we block, like, backdoor flushes. Backdoor flush draws. So we would rather call with clubs, I guess is what we're saying. So we're agreeing to click the fold button. Okay. It was I didn't really think fives would be in the range, but yeah, that's the kind of hand that makes sense. All right, so it didn't really love. Okay. In game, I would bet quarter. I'm never, like I said, I'm never betting 10%. I clicked this button because I thought that's what was expected of me. And then where's the turn? It wants to just check the turn. I mean, I guess when we get called, like, our range advantage, because like he is gonna fold the absolute bottom of his range. So I guess when we get called, the range advantage is sort of neutralized, I guess, is what we're saying. We're obviously not really betting for value. And I guess this sizing isn't really gonna fold out anything that beats us. Turn is a bad card. See, I thought of the turn as like neutral, but I mean, I guess, yeah, if fives are in the range, which wasn't something I was thinking about. I mean, I guess sevens are in the range, whereas we would probably just be calling pre-flop with fives or, well, I don't know about fives, but sevens, like a call seems more reasonable. Ace-X, yeah. Should check UTG's range. All right. This game's so hard. Yeah, okay, so his range that's calling the 3-bet pre-flop is, yeah, suited ace-X, these, like, middle pairs, Jack-10 suited. Yeah, so I mean, I guess it's relevant that ace-5 suited is, you know, in the range too. Although, I mean, a pair of fives is not feeling great, but it beats our bluffs. And is he actually folding any? Well, we bet 10%, right? So he really can't fold, like, anything. Oh, he can fold some stuff. Jack-10 suited makes sense. It feels pretty ambitious to say that someone's gonna fold eights to a 10% bet. I mean, obviously, you know, the king's pretty scary, but even with backdoors, it's folding the majority of the time. It's folding the spades almost pure. These are the kind of differences that I don't fully understand. It's like, why are spades so bad? I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that does surprise me that he actually can fold like a third of his range with this 10% bet. 10% C bet. But we bet so small, like it feels like he should be getting the pot odds, right? Don't have to defend weak backdoor versus strong range. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. All right. That was interesting. Single raise pot this time, so we just defended. Yeah, I see absolutely no reason to open the action again. I think we're pretty happy to just check. We're probably just check calling like all the way. I mean, the overbet is a little, you know, I don't really see this very much, you know, in my world. So, I mean, what's the merit of, like, I'm not folding. So call or jam. I mean, jam denies equity to spades is like the main thing, I guess. Wouldn't the guy be more inclined to c-bet his spades, though? So I kind of prefer just calling. We also, I mean, we can easily be called by a stronger ace. Although I would think his aces are more inclined to c-bet also, but I'm just going to click call. And yeah, again, I mean, it feels pretty ambitious to be betting. I mean, he could put us on miss spades, I guess is the thing. But what's he actually going to bluff catch us with that doesn't beat us? Like, does he have Queen X in his range that overbets turn? So if he bluff catches us, isn't it with some ace that we just lose to? So I just want to check. All right, we got a perfect score on that one. So probably there's nothing to learn. Single raise pot. Yeah, I mean, this is like an awful... Well, I mean, it is small blinds. I mean, this definitely... I mean, I guess the thing is we don't have any showdown value, so... I guess it's a reasonable combo to be c-betting. I think the board's pretty neutral. Like, I don't think this is gonna hit anybody. So I don't know, I feel like betting a third. There's always something to learn. Yeah, I was kind of joking, but... Defender overbet probe range. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen overbet probe on the turn. Like, in an MTT that I've played in. You know, since I play, like, you know, relatively small stuff. Right, yeah, there's always something to learn. I guess it's a question of the value of learning. I'm gonna click this button. Computer liked it. Okay, I was pretty much right about this one. Like, there's a lot of checking, and we're betting kind of on the larger size when we do bet. So here's a question I have for Thussle, since Thussle plays a lot of MTTs, and Fate might have good insights too. Is like you kind of look at this range, and a thought that I have is that it's almost less important to think about what hands to bet. It almost seems like it's more important to just roll. Like I could sit here and say I'm gonna c-bet these hands and I'm gonna check these hands, or I could just say like I'm gonna roll everything and I'm gonna bet like every single hand in my range. I'm gonna bet 2/3. I'm gonna bet at 2/3 frequency. And it feels like that strategy is closer than trying to pick out like I'm gonna bet this hand pure, this hand pure, check this hand pure. So like I mean, am I crazy? Should I just like not even think about the hands and just like roll? Or is that just, I mean, it feels kind of stupid, but it does seem like it matches the solver strategy closer. But when you say range bet, do you mean range bet 100%? Or just say like, I'm gonna range bet, but at a, you know, 2/3 frequency? Because that's something I never do, but I've just kind of had it floating in my head, like, what if I just don't look at my cards and just roll? Bet every combo 100% for smaller. I mean, that's like what I do frequently. But I kind of know that these, you know, low connected boards are going to be more likely to be, you know, have some checking going on. So usually when I see them, what I do is I take my strong hands and I bet them for like 1/3 or maybe bigger sometimes. I take my weak hands and I do the same, and then the hands in the middle, I just check. But that's actually kind of like not that close to what this strategy is, right? Yeah. I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so 3-bet pre, we called, so we check. I mean, he bets big. He bets 1/2. I mean, I think we can just let this go. I mean, all we have is we have 1 overcard and a gut shot. I mean, it doesn't feel like we have to defend this. Cool. That one was easy. Okay, another 3-bet pot. Yeah, I mean, we're out of position. Even as the 3-better, I mean, UTG has a pretty strong range, right? I feel like we just check. Oh, it didn't like that. He bets tiny. I mean, we can't fold. We do have, although Fate did say you don't have to defend your backdoors against a strong range. We have an overcard too. I don't know that anybody really has an advantage in 7x. I mean, I guess, like, I don't think we're really 3-betting like ace-7 suited, but I don't know. Maybe it could 3-bet. I don't think he has ace-7 suited, or well, I don't think he has ace-7 like at all. I think either player could have 7s. I don't know, man. I just want to check fold, but I feel like the computer is going to be more punishing than that. Oh, it just wants to jam? Like, are you kidding me? I'm not brave enough to do that. But I also know that I got the flop wrong. So it actually does want to c-bet. It's c-betting range here. I really need to learn something about 3-bet pots, I think. I guess we just have all the overpairs. It feels like we have a lot of bluffs, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, also, if I'm under the gun, I don't think I'm defending this. I mean, it you know, at this stack size, like at this SPR, like we're defending Queen Jack. All right, are the Braves doing any better? That's commercial. Probably the Braves are still losing. Okay, this is like nightmare fuel. We opened, we got 3-bet. We didn't 4-bet because we were gonna trap him. And then there's always an ace on the flop. And then the guy c-bets 1/2 pot. Like, can we fold kings? Really, we can't fold kings. But like, obviously, if we're calling, we're basically just committing our stack. Why didn't we 4-bet? I'm 4-betting 100% of the time pre-flop. What even is the difference between call and all in? I'm just gonna click call and cry. And then the flush comes in, but we still can't fold because pot odds. I mean, we're just losing to everything, right? Like, what does he have that we don't lose to? Queens? Like, he could have pocket queens with a spade. That's one hand that we have, you know, 80% equity against. Jacks with a spade. All right. I'm developing some hands that we could beat. So do we just have to call because he has 2 combos that we could beat? Okay, that's not 2 combos, it's like 12, but whatever. I mean, I guess we have to click call, but I don't like it. Yeah, we just lose every time. We played it perfectly, but lost. Always losing on the turn. Like, why didn't we 4-bet pre? All right, single raise pot. Always be checking. Yeah, I think in this stack size, we just want to be check raising our top pairs like almost all the time. So I get a little confused with these sizings. So raise 33% means we're gonna call the 2, then there's gonna be 10 1/4 in the pot, and then we're gonna put 3 more in. So that's making it like 5, which feels a little small to me. Raise 55, we're calling the 2, then we're putting in 5 more. So that feels more standard to me, making it like 7, 7.5 or something. I should see what their bluffs are on that last one. I can do that. It's not too late. Queen 5 offsuit, because of course, why wouldn't they have this hand? Queen 5 offsuit with a spade is a bluff we beat. So basically all of these bluffs that I don't think anybody's find, or that very few are gonna find, these like low frequency bluffs, 3-bet bluffs pre, and even these have, you know, 20% equity against us. I mean, these ace-x bluffs, I think people will find. But we're losing to all those, right? Forgot that we're losing to those, so those aren't bluffs. Fold turn versus pool seems pretty reasonable, because it really doesn't seem like... Like, even, you know, 4s is a set. So, like, everything that's betting is beating us. I mean, it's betting king 10. We beat king 10. But we also double block king 10, so there is no stream delay. Welcome to live action, Cheesy Gazebo. Okay, so I decided to click this button, right? Okay, it said that was correct, but not best. Pool meaning player pool, practical play versus theory. That is what I took it to mean. X jacks. Yeah, jacks and queens with a spade does make some sense. And I guess maybe they could continue bluffing even without the spade, maybe. If they're like a good player, they might do that. Yeah. Okay, I mean, are we just ripping it on the turn? This 4 doesn't really change much. I mean, really, the 4's a good card for us because, well, no, it's a single raise pot. So we're not defending with 8-6 in the small blind though. So we don't ever really have straights. So what are our check raise bluffs on the flop? Like 5x, or I mean 4's got there. 3s, deuces, I guess, if those are in the range. Yeah, maybe it's a little hard to construct a 3-bet bluff range on the flop. I'm sorry, check raise bluff range. If we don't have 8-6, which I don't think we do. So maybe the flop check raise is just not that great. Maybe we should just call, because we don't have that many bluffs to balance it out. And obviously we have better King X that we could be value betting with. Okay, so in any event, I kind of don't understand any play other than just jamming here. Because why are we going to let a card roll off? And these small bets don't make any sense to me. So I'm just going to jam. Yeah, this is another one that's kind of difficult for me, so it's wanting to do that smaller sizing raise. And calling's also reasonable. Ah, good luck, Thussle. Have a good one. Man, I haven't had a final table in so long, it feels like. It's probably been like a week, but it still feels like a long time. I've been getting tilted lately because it hasn't been going my way. Which is partly what motivated the study stream. So yeah, this sizing is like really impractical for me. I'm trying to see what that sizing actually is in absolute terms. So that's raising from 2 to 5.5. Maybe I shouldn't think this way, but like when I'm thinking about my check raise sizing, I'm kind of just thinking about as a multiple of the bet, not really thinking about the total pot. So I'm usually making it like 3x in position or 4x out of position, and then I'll make some small adjustments. I did miss my Tuesday night, it's true. Yeah, I didn't even go last night. That's the only reason I didn't win. It's because I wasn't there. Okay, that's probably not totally true, but I wasn't there. I had a decent run in one of the long cars last night, but I think I busted around like 17 or so. I was like reasonably close to a final table. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of difficult to do the pot size math like in game, right? I mean, it might not be that important of a distinction. Like, they're the same EV, you know, but 3-bet pot here. We defended with 8s. Yeah, pretty awful flop. And we're probably... Is this one of those that we just fold? Even though, like, we're getting the insane pot odds? I think this might be one of those that we just fold. What in the range do we have a prayer against? Like, isn't his range all better pairs and ace-x? Like, I guess we're hoping that he has, like, king-queen suited, which still has 10 outs against us, right? So, yeah, I think we just fold. Range bet or check fold? Wait. Oh, no, so no check raising? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused. Yeah. So we called the 3-bet. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that tempted me was that the sizing was so small. But it's just like we lose to the entire range, so... Almost the entire range. Single raise pot. Hijack called us. I mean, we're at like the bottom of our range and we hit top pair. Oh, like bottom of our pre-flop range and hit top pair. But we are out of position, which we learned means we check. Okay, and we turn a gut shot just in case. Do we start betting here? Probably, right? What's checking behind? Like, you know, middle strength, showdown value type hands. Like, homie's not trapping us with jacks or 9s. So we do a little delayed c-bet, right? I've selected so many spots. Oh, you mean like positions or yeah, like it's single raise pot or it's 3-bet pot. There's a lot there. Okay, I wanted to bet a little bigger on the turn. I mean, I guess, yeah, that that makes sense because it's such a dynamic board to bet bigger. Fair enough. All right, so I'll read out the spot so that Fate knows what's going on. So we were +1. We raised pre-flop. We got 3-bet, and then we defended queen 10 suited. Which again, I would probably not defend. And then we flop top pair. The guy c-bets quarter. I mean, yeah, we have to just call, right? Because it's not like our hand's amazing when the guy has jacks and queens and kings and aces and 10s. Although there's not really many 10s left, but... So we just call it. The 7 seems pretty irrelevant. I don't think anybody has 9-8 going on. Again, I don't think I ever will see this in practice. Like, quarter bet on the pot on the flop and then 10% turn. But yeah, I'm still like... Raising feels optimistic. Right? So I think we just call. Pretty clean run out. We just have to call it down. And then sometimes he shows us kings and we cry. Right? Cool. Yeah, that one was too easy. So you're drilling like specific spots. You do that even for post flop though? Because yeah, I guess it makes sense. I don't know, it just feels like if I drilled like low jack versus button post flop, like if I tried to memorize any particular patterns, you know, I've got to do that for like 64 different, you know, combinations of spot. I guess it's 56, but whatever. And then to try to recall any kind of pattern. I mean, you could bucket them a little better. You know, you could say like early position versus the blinds, early position versus, you know, button or whatever. All right, single raise pot, low jack versus button. I mean, we learned that we check out of position, right? Anybody could have a queen. It could be anybody. I mean, me, I'm like, I have showdown value. I don't know if I'm betting if I want him to call or fold, so I kind of just want to check. Is my hand too face up? I mean, I also have like pairs, right? That are scared for some reason. Focus on the highest frequency ones. That makes sense. I mean, you could, like, you know, button versus big blind or something. Yeah. I'm gonna click check again, but I'm not as confident now. Okay, it likes checking. And am I gonna continue against this 1/3 bet? I mean, I kind of have to, don't I? Does he actually have, like, worse hands that are checking the flop? Like, is he checking the flop with, like, King 10? King Jack? I mean, it feels pretty weak to just fold to, like, one small bet. I mean, I guess the guy could have, like, some diamonds that didn't want to bet the flop, but is now emboldened to bluff the turn. I think I'm going to click call, but I don't feel great about it. And yeah, I'm just playing in flow. I guess the king is better for us, but I'm not bluff catching this, am I? Like, we basically beat the diamonds. Which I'm not even really sure he has that much of. Like, is he cold called us pre-flop? So he's not going to have random crap diamonds very often. You know, he's going to have, like... I mean, ace 10 of diamonds might raise, but it might also just flat. I think. So, I mean, we're kind of relying on him having, like... No, but even, like, King X of diamonds is a pair now, so... So we're really relying on him having, like, Jack 10 of diamonds. It's hard to imagine, like... Because all the ace X of diamonds either beats us... Like, the only ace X of diamonds that doesn't beat us is ace 7. Because ace 8 is a pair... You know... So, I don't know. I think I click fold. How can we, yeah, and obviously the dude just turned a full house. What did we do on the flop? We just checked. And it wants us to, yeah, it's basically c-betting range. Okay. Even queens, even flopped quads, it's c-betting. So, is the lesson that double paired Broadway boards are good for the pre-flop aggressor, even if you're out of position? Is that the lesson? Did I say double paired Broadway boards? Maybe that's the lesson? Like, I guess we have more queens than him. Buttons calling range pre. We can find out. We have the technology. Okay, there's a little bit more diamonds than, you know, I led the world to believe. But yeah, suited ace, a lot of suited combos, and then, like, you know, these small pairs. And some of the stronger offsuit stuff. So why do we get to just go so ham on the flop? my question. Like, I guess you could say that the guy doesn't really have that many queens. I guess that's the problem. Like, he has a lot of aces, but other Broadway cards he doesn't really have that many of. Yeah, and my pocket pairs are bigger than his pocket pairs. Because, like, these look kind of scary, but those are suited combos, so there's, you know, 1/4 as many of them. So you're really looking at some pretty small boxes with the queens. And the same would be true for jacks, and to a lesser extent, kings. Right, yeah, they really just don't have that many queens. Yeah, I mean, not to mention that the board obviously blocks, you know, half of these combos. So it's basically just king queen off and queen jack off. That's not much. Okay, I learned something. +1 versus cutoff, single raise pot. Hey, this is like the same spot, but now we're playing the other side. So the dude checked to us. Well, we do have a lot of, we do have sets, right? We saw that we have sets. But, you know, he's got some good stuff too. Oh, I gotta do a thing. Forgot about that. Okay, so we're gonna quickly freeze frame the camera because I have to do something on my phone. And then we'll reset the camera. I knew I was gonna forget too. We're just checking here, right? We're not gonna do anything crazy. Not gonna get wet. All right, I think I've set things up properly. That looks like me. Okay. Did that work? Yes. Okay, so I think I clicked check. As I'm scared of his range. So I click check. Yeah, I mean, who has more nines? This guy doesn't have any offsuit nines. So that kind of sucks for him. Do I have any offsuit nines? Probably not. So maybe it doesn't suck so hard for him. I mean, maybe this guy has more nines because he has like jack nine suited. I don't know if I'm flatting with jack nine suited. Queen nine suited. King nine suited. I mean, I guess, like, when he checks, he's kind of repping that he has some kind of showdown value. We don't beat showdown value, but I don't know, it feels like out of line to be betting. So I'm gonna click check again. Spades come in. We do have a pretty relevant blocker. Because, you know, a lot of his suited spades are gonna have a king, obviously. And I mean, the guy just looks like showdown value, so it kind of feels like a spot that we should bluff. What sizing do we bluff? I don't know. We wouldn't never really play a 9 this way, right? I mean, like, are we checking a 9 on the turn? Probably not. We don't really have that much, like, big value. I don't think we can bet, like, that much. I think just 2/3 or so. Well, we gotta fold. We made him fold the best hand. Brave. Oh, the game's over? Oh, yeah. It is. We did try to come back. I knew we were going to lose. That's why I didn't watch. How close did we get? We only lost by 1 run. Let's see what happens. We scored 2 in the 8th. Yeah, good thing I wasn't paying attention, because I might have actually tricked myself into thinking we could win. Alright, we can turn that off. Alright, I don't know, let's do like 3 more, and then I'll probably call it a stream. Actually, yeah, we'll do maybe like 1 more, because I forgot I have like, you know, laundry and stuff to do before I go to bed. Alright. +1 versus low jack. 3 bet. We call, so, okay, so we check. He bets 1/10. I mean, this one we gotta defend. I mean, there's 1 overcard. We gotta call. We're gonna check again. Alright, I mean, this is like the cleanest round of all time. I feel like we're just gonna have to call. Okay, or we can just check through. That's fine with us too. Okay, that was too easy. That doesn't count. +1 versus... Okay, this is like a classic spot, right? You get these all the time. This is the kind of stuff that Fate would drill all the time. So, usually a king high board I'm range betting. The problem is the paired 8s are kind of annoying because the guy could have an 8. So I'm kind of thinking check, because our hand's actually pretty, like, we're ahead of most of his range. But I don't know if you can really sit, like, if we bet and we get raised, it kind of sucks. So I think we check this one. Or we implement our, we don't care what our hand is, we just, you know, roll. And we rolled 60. And if we're saying we're checking only 1/3 of hands or something like that, then 60 would, or checking 1/3 of the time, then this would sort of imply a bet. Nevertheless, I'm going to click check. Because I like checking. Yeah, and again, in real people world, I feel like +1 isn't checking a king on the flop. So the king coming on the turn is like kind of hard to rep that we actually check the king on the flop. Whereas, you know, big blind could certainly have a king. So I kind of just check call the rest of the way now. But that's probably not right, but that's what I do. Okay, I mean, like, this just feels like one of those spots where you could just like like jam with like no risk. like is big blind ever showing up with a king here? Like, he could. Like, again, I think real people, like, aren't... I don't know. Like, if I'm big blind and I river quads, like, I feel like if I check, it's just gonna check through, like, all the time. I would have to feel pretty confident that my opponent is the kind of guy that's just gonna like blast. There's no way like jamming can be right in theory, right? But like, can we bluff? Because we have like no risk. Like if we bluff 70% and the guy jams, do we just call and we say, no, we don't believe you? Like I actually have no idea what the right theoretical thing to do is here. It kind of feels, I don't know, it feels like kind of silly to be checking. Would we actually check the king on both streets? So I don't know, maybe it's just a nothing spot. Theory will have some jams? Oh, okay, yeah, this is a good sign that I should stop, because I forgot that, like, 9s through aces is value. Like, I forgot that that exists. So yeah, actually, it's pretty reasonable to be betting, because we could totally have 9s, 10s, jacks. You know, that kind of stuff. These sizings, I don't really understand. Like, I don't know what sizing I'm supposed to use. It kind of feels like one where the computer would bet big. So this 150%, that's like 8. It's like betting 8 about. I don't know. I think I'm going to click that one. Would I be brave enough to do it in game? I don't know. But I'm going to click it and see what happens. Yeah, of course it's wrong. It's never right when you think it's right. But it's basically potting the entire range. Potting or all in. Okay. I mean, I guess that's... Yeah, it seems kind of silly to call this wrong. Like, what's really the difference between betting 150% and betting pot? Yeah. I mean, I guess the difference is what kind of price you're getting if the guy jams over the top. Like, I guess that's the difference. I don't know. I'm too tired to think about that. The important lesson here is, like, yeah, we're just, like, always aggressive in this spot. Now, my further question is, what is big blind supposed to do? Because sometimes I see people get out of line in these kind of spots where it's, like, really hard for them to have anything worse than a chop. Okay, and they should just check their entire range. Literally 100% check. And then UTG1 just gets to, you know, basically pot or better the, yeah, pot or jam basically everything. That's pretty interesting. Now I know. Now I know the truth. Okay, I'm gonna call it a stream. Thanks, guys, for helping out. Like I said, I hope I learned at least a few things. I don't know when the next stream will be. I will be playing poker tomorrow night, so it's possible I could stream some of it, but I'm not gonna, you know, promise. Chess-wise, I don't know what I got coming up. I don't think I got really anything anytime soon. Let's see. Who to raid is the question. We could keep it in Pokerland and raid Big Fish No Shrimp. If Tina and Blood Queen are still doing their thing, I could raid. But they're playing like Roblox or some garbage. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Let's keep it in Pokerlands. We'll send you to Big Fish No Shrimp. Raid Big Fish No Shrimp. All right, cool. Thanks again for being here, guys. Thanks to Thussle for the sub. Yeah, and like I said, I don't know exactly when I'll be back, but maybe I'll stream some MTTs tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have like, you know, a good session tomorrow, because it seems like my last 5 sessions have been bad. Actually, if Michael's still here, basically ever since I had that good chess tournament, all my poker sessions have been terrible. Or maybe not terrible, but I have not really had anything good happen poker-wise since then. So yeah, that's kind of frustrating, but anyway, see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.